Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I am going to walk my happy butt over to the futon to check out the Netflix original, Ziam. Ziam tells the story of a Muay Thai fighter who has to protect his loved ones against a horde of oncoming zombies. That's right, it's a zombie apocalypse movie with martial arts. And let me tell you guys, I am 100% on board. After watching this trailer, it looks like it is going to be a downright brutal, bloody, gory mess. These aren't your average zombies either. This is those kind of zombies that are like the altered, infected humans. They've got like these big, wide open mouths with the pointy teeth and all. It looks like it's going to be pretty intense, to be perfectly honest. And you know who else loves a good, bloody martial arts film? My cat Haku, and he is patiently waiting for me over at the futon. So it's enough of the jibber jabber. It is time for me to get over to the futon and check out Ziam. Just getting done watching Ziam, and guys, I enjoyed this movie. This was a fun little zombie film. So let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. The story in this film is pretty basic. There is a lot of been there, done that zombie-esque film in this movie. Now, while it does make up for its very usual storytelling, it does have some really great stylistic choices and all. Bringing in the martial arts into this movie does bring a little bit more of an edge to the zombie story, but all in all, this film follows a lot of the story progression that you see in zombie movies just like this. Now, this is also a much more intimate, small story than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be much more of an apocalyptic world type of situation, and while there is some stuff that's going on the outside world, most of this whole thing is just focused on this one hospital in Thailand. So everything does take place in one location where it does have a nice little claustrophobia that comes in with the film. It also brings in a lot of the old tropes that we're used to in these types of films where there's an infected something or other going on in a building and location. So a lot of that stuff gets brought back into this movie to add to some tension and things of that sort. So even though this film isn't trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to zombie movie storytelling, it still is a lot of fun and it's packed in with a lot of action. The pacing of this movie also just feels a bit off. Not that the movie's long by any means whatsoever. This film comes in at 95 minutes and it does a great job of filling it out. The only problem I have with it is this movie does some really odd choicing when it does like slowdowns to kind of tell its story. It chooses a lot of really just weird moments for things to just kind of shut down for a moment, have some conversations with people, have some lighthearted moments or whatever, and then move on to the next event. And it always seemed to happen with some real intense action or something like that. And it didn't really fit the vibe of the film too much, and it kind of throws you out of the element just a little bit too. The cinematography, while I absolutely loved a lot of aspects of the cinematography in this film, which I will get to here in a moment, there is also some kind of jerky movement that is made while doing this type of cinematography that I didn't really like too awful much. There's also some very quick pan shots where the camera itself just kind of zips around really fast. There's also a jerky movement with the zombies, which in some places where it looks like the people themselves are doing it, but then there's some spots where they just use some camera tricks by just not necessarily doing shaky cam, but it does do something where it does zip around a little bit and jars you a little bit and all, which I can understand it's trying to make you feel uncomfortable with the cinematography and all, but there's just a little too many scenes where the camera itself kind of spins or moves just a little too quick, and it makes you just a little bit on the disoriented side. This film is also insanely gory, and even though I really enjoy that, I know that there's some people out there that might maybe turned off by high levels of gore, but it is a zombie movie, for goodness sake, so I don't know what you would be expecting in that category, but we will get into that more when I get into the positives, because I did really enjoy the gore factor. There are some moments of some spotty CGI that wasn't necessarily the greatest in the world, but it wasn't necessarily terrible either, and it doesn't really spend a lot of time in those moments. There are some CGI blood splatter, and that is something I've never been a real big fan of because it just kind of looks cartoony and out of place, but the film utilizes it okay. A lot of the times where it uses the CGI blood spray, it's in dark areas, so you can't necessarily see that, you know, cartoony look to it, but at the same time, it does still kind of look a little bit out of place. But all in all, guys, I feel like this film really came together. So let's move into those positives. Now, let's talk about what I did like with that cinematography. Now, even though there were moments where I felt like the camera itself was really jerky, there were also some really cool shots where you would just, as the camera, follow a character into the room, and as that camera would follow this character, it would then kind of detach itself from the character, move around kind of slowly and pan around and then open up to a much wider shot. And I really loved those moments of when they utilized that. The cinematography also does a good job of utilizing the one location and the claustrophobia of being stuck inside this hospital with hordes of zombies. Also, there's a lot of really good practical effects that are used in this film, a lot of excellent makeup. The zombie effects look really great. They do kind of morph and change as the film progresses. What starts off as just your basic bloody looking zombies end up turning into these crazy pointy teeth, wide open mouth monsters, not so much something that you would even see on this planet. The film also does an excellent job of utilizing both the action elements of this film and the horror elements of this film. There are some really genuinely dread-filled moments and also some great tension and suspense. Good earned jump scares in this film also. The movie delivers a nice 50-50 of action and horror, which I always like with movies that are going to be two split genres. I like to see those genres split right down the middle, and this film does it in droves. All in all, guys, this was an extremely solid film. If you're a fan of zombie films, if you're a fan of martial arts films, you're going to find a lot here. So this is a definite watch it. If you are a member of Netflix, check this one out. It's definitely worth your time. Well, that's all I have for you today, folks. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel or ring that bell for notifications and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.